what is the condition of photography right now. Well, recently, a young woman sent me a letter in which she wrote, and I'm quoting her here, "I believe that I am one of a very few photographers working with combined 19th century processes." I didn't have the heart to break the news to her that instead she had joined the swelling ranks of an international movement that goes back some 30 years. As that implies, we habitually date the start of what is now called the alternative processes tendency to the late 1960s and the spread of historical craft-related information that resulted from the dispersion and expansion of the formal photoeducation system in the U.S. first and then elsewhere. In actual fact, however, all of the different methods of light-sensitive or lens-derived image-making have always existed as alternatives to each other. Photography, from its very inception, functioned as a seedbed of process, investigation, and subsequent experimentation with the possible permutations. The medium's history, after all, commences with the contest between Daguerre's one-of-a-kind positives on silvered metal plates and Talbot's salted paper negatives and multiple paper positives. From there, we spill out into ceaselessly innovative new physical forms and the imagistic potentials and the presentational options that they enable. Cyanotype, tintype, amber type, wet plate, dry plate, albumin print, sheet film, roll film, lantern slide, stereo card, platinum palladium printing, gum bichromate, Carbro process, silver gelatin, the ones we begin to be familiar with most today, Kodachrome, dye transfer, Polaroid, hologram, digital imaging now. And these images themselves, collaged, montaged, assemblaged, photogrammed, multiply exposed, toned, reproduced in ink, hung on walls, bound in books, incorporated into installations, slide projected, printed on a wide assortment of commercially produced or hand-sensitized papers, transferred to fabrics, embedded in ceramic, variously three-dimensionalized, and even replicated in chocolate. There are now so many people engaged with all of these historic and new hybrid forms here and abroad that no one show or book could possibly encompass them anymore. Begin to acquaint yourself with the medium in its present state, starting, as you may very well do, with the excellent Igor Mukin exhibition that's right here at the Hatton Gallery. And you'll quickly be introduced to a representative selection of approaches and to a cross-section of the visual artists who've revitalized and or devoted themselves to those practices, ranging from those people who have rediscovered older processes and reintroduced them into the working vocabulary of contemporary practice, to those people who work with the very latest electronic methods, and from people who invent unique new physical forms for the photographic image, to people who push the envelope of how and where images can be publicly presented. As this makes clear, I hope, any informed overview of the evolution of the photograph as an object and an image involves the recognition that those who work now and have worked creatively with photographs, photographers, artists from other media, and the general population at large, many of whom have experimented in many ways with photography, that all of these people have generated an enormous range of works that must be considered in some way in any serious discussion of what constitutes the photographic. It also becomes obvious, I think, that the perception of creative photography from 1940 through 1970 as comprising a single type of artifact, specifically the straight or unmanipulated black and white silver gelatin print made from an unmanipulated silver gelatin negative encoding a single exposure, presented as an autonomous framed and matted artifact under glass, normally no larger than 20 by 24 inches, that this seeming definition of what constituted photography was, no matter how widespread, fundamentally erroneous.